Got to, man. Gotta bounce back. Shout out to my homie Keys, Xavier Keys, on the vocals on this. Okay. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. Grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. In grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Cause I ain't got no time to be wasting with all this music I'm making. Man, I'm tired of being impatient, so I keep making these moves here with my crew. Vow to myself to always stay true, so I don't care what nobody else do. I know why. Like an erection, bumps in the road, but nah, I ain't stressing. I don't work out, but homie, I'm flexing. Every time I get on the beat and I bless it. Rise and shine, and I never let another come and stop my grind. Cause I grind all night at the gig, no lie. Then it's back in the booth for some overtime. Come on. Nope. Shout out to Miss Alma Ramos. Shout out to Miss B. I said, hey. My mom told me to get them, so I don't care what y'all say. I just keep grinding. Yeah, I stay working, cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make y'all mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. No sleep. Spit heat, killing these tracks, and I'm not gonna stop till I'm up on top where I'm supposed to be. Everywhere I go, I scream SP. We're more than a crew, we a family. Working trying to get a couple Grammys, G, having sitting on top of the mantelpiece. Thank God. Go hard, they just mad cause I'm on my job. But where I'm from, I see the ground is starving. Starving, I just can't do it. Not having it, unthinkable. So I turn in and stretch Armstrong, and now I can reach the unreachable. Let's go. Hey, trying to... Yo, I said I can't sit still. I just laugh at y'all haters. Cause, yeah. Hey, mom's told me, so why don't, let's go, I just keep, yeah, I stay, cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, doesn't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't get what you want. Whatever you dreaming for, you get out there and you get it. You make it happen. Never mind the haters. Real spill. Cause all day, always, get 'em. Yes sir. I'm grinding. Stay working. Hey, I said that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Gotta. Yes, sir. Love them.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is, I know time, it's 8 a.m. or 7:59 because Monica knows what she's doing. You're listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Thursday the 7th. It's a slightly overcast kind of day. Like a Batman movie out there. You ever notice in the Batman movies, it's always dark and gloomy? There's never sunshine. But there's sunshine in Aurora every now and then. So we have a great episode today. We have a lot of things today. We have bagels. We have coffee. We've got news about puppies and pancakes to tell you about. And we have Restoration 1 of Fox Valley. And we have Tracy Hodges with us as well. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So we'll talk. There's a good number of things about the industry that we like to detail for our listeners and let them know about restoration. But who are you, first of all, and where are you from?
My name is Tracy Hodges, as you introduced, so thank you very much. I grew up in Indiana.
Okay.
Rural country, south of Indianapolis, and so even though I'm a transplant to Illinois, I've lived here in Illinois longer than Indiana, showing my age. So we were just discussing, went to my master's in Aurora University, and so I just retired from teaching after 20 years in East Aurora.
Oh, wow.
And yes,
okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you. And yours as well. So just retired, and I am blessed with being the business developer for business development for our company. It is my husband and I's company,
Good.
Restoration 1 of Fox Valley. So, yes.
How long has it been around?
We opened the doors, so to speak, COVID, January of 2020.
Okay.
And we were very blessed to be tagged as an essential business.
Okay.
And then, of course, we were able to do COVID cleanings because that became something, since we're in that cleaning and just, sanitizing, and that just became something that we could do.
Right.
So that saved us. But my husband is very smart and said, I kind of want to look into a recession-proof business. Knew that it was going to be tested 2 months after you open the doors.
Right.
So. Yeah,
the ultimate test, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, different companies face recession differently, but yeah, we're essential to keep people's homes,
Now, what's the area that you serve?
The territory it goes all up and down the Fox Valley River, hence why we said the Fox Valley. We go all the way up to South Elgin.
Okay.
And over to the new territory encompasses Oak Brook.
Okay.
We go down to Romeoville and over to Yorkville.
Yorkville.
Yeah.
Kendall. Kendall County.
Yeah. And then everything in between.
Okay. So we're going to also talk about the Puppies for Pancakes when we get to this, but I kind of want the industry, though, of damage.
Yes, sir.
Are there industry standards or basics, and did you know this before you got into it, yourself and your husband, rather?
Yeah, the Restoration 1 is a franchise.
Okay.
And yes, by all means, there are classes and certifications that he and lead techs have to take.
Okay.
We can hire workers underneath that do the loading, the unloading, the help with that, hoses, things like that. But when you get into the actual work, the assessment, the estimates, the categories of water, because there are 3 different categories of water depending on where it's located and how long it's sat. So a mold and all those, when you get into classifying, and that's more, you do need to be certified. And we send our project manager and our lead techs to get that. And of course, my husband had to take all of those classes as well. Will be also, but as the business developer, I'm learning as I go with that. But yes, there are certifications. We have an over 500-page standards book, much like teaching. There are standards.
Right.
There are standards, and we go by the standards. So should an insurance company or should a customer say, but what we're like, in the book, we are going by the book, and it is an industry standard.
Right.
Yes, that we follow. Yes.
Okay. All right. The time is 8:06 a.m. So now, what types of services? So we're 3 types of water.
Types of water.
We know,
you got that. You are an awesome listener.
See?
Yes.
That might be a Jeopardy question later on. It's like, there's 3 types of water.
So one of the things I've learned to say, so we do water, smoke, fire, and mold. Okay. And beyond. And one of the reasons I say like Buzz Lightyear and beyond now is because we say if you have a issue inside your resident or side of commercial, because we do both, call us, whether it's like a smell or you think something's mold or you do see water, give us a call, because we're considered like your GP, your general practitioner. Okay. And we can come in and assess it, find the origin of it, and if we personally cannot take care of it, we have a load of specialists who can. Okay. So we're kind of your contact, like I said, we're like your GP. We can find out, and if we cannot take care of it, or sometimes it's in conjunction with someone. Okay. Don't want to give all the stories away until we get there, but one of them is we had a raccoon situation in an attic. Well, we don't remove the raccoon. Right. We have animal control that took care of that, but the bio that we can take care of, his dung, right, his or her, we removed that professionally and got rid, and
you could probably seal where he got in.
Absolutely. Right, yeah. Absolutely. So yes, the water, smoke, fire, and mold. Yes, I mentioned the bio. We don't do, say, aftermath personally. Right. Restoration 1 can, but we don't do that aspect of it.
You clean the scene, not dispose of the body.
Yeah, we could, yes, but that we have not gotten into that. Okay. Our bio is more animal. Okay. And sewage. All right. The human aspect, which is still, that's where the bio in that regard comes from.
Well, the future is potentially bright for more business.
Yeah, right? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, good morning to all of you great people. Josie Mendoza Geller. Yay! Good morning, Tracy Duran. Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a real studio audience today. That's what's different. So we're not pushing buttons for claps. We never were. But we have real hands, real phalanges clapping together. And Deb Sturgis, hello. Momo D, Dora Sanchez Soto, Victoria Hyla Maldonado. She says hello.
Hello, yes. Last night and this morning is yes, absolutely.
Look at all the friends we got. See?
Yes.
We told people this is the Great American Morning Show. This is the Friend Show. Yes. And Joe Jackson. Good morning from Joe's daughter, Claire.
Yes, Joe.
You know everybody. Franca Liccione, good morning to you too. And hello, Gloria Gerardo. Okay, now we talked about the cities that you serve. This is a question that was really about. Now, the damage and the types of damages that can occur. What are the types of potential damages that a household can experience? So you mentioned smoke, mold, water, and fire.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, are those people oriented, or is it mostly natural disasters, or is it a combination of the?
I was just going to say yes if you didn't. Okay. It's a yes because it is both of those. Most of them are. A house has many. A house is kind of like a living, breathing thing. You have lots of moving parts, lots of things, and some things you can not see that are behind the walls, right? And some things you can see and take care of. A lot of things with just some regular maintenance and looking and checking into. That's why I say it's like a living, breathing thing. You go and get checkups on your body and try to stay healthy and take care of it, and people should do that with their homes. Right. Not everything can be averted. It can't. But if you do some just maintenance and some checking and peeking on things,
Right.
they can be. The smoke and the fire go in conjunction in the fact of we can do board ups after a fire if it's not so that's where the fire comes in. And the
Okay.
smoke can be from a kitchen fire to a home fire to, what was the word I was going to say? I can't remember. But inside the home and fire chimney places if something
Okay.
happened, they didn't do the flue right and it
Right.
with the ash.
Ah.
So that is what we can come in with the smoke and clean up the smoke with our purifiers. And everything is industrial grade, of course. Some
Right.
people say, well, I can run my air purifier or I can run my own fans. And yes, you can.
Right, but
But-
your $20
Home Depot absolutely.
Target fan is
Exactly.
not going to, right.
Correct. And so everything is industrial made for the professional level to prevent further issues that can occur.
Right.
Whether it's breathing mold that could come back, breathing the soot and smoke in your house that you can't really see, to the water turning into mold because you thought you dried it out, and then it will turn into mold if it is not professionally done.
Yes, it will.
Yes,
Oh yeah. Oh
yes.
yeah.
So-
and the things you mentioned, you can't see, like faulty wiring. Is that included in the things that a person cannot see that are potential hazards? Though.
You're absolutely right about that. When it's behind the walls of your
Right.
home, cords and stuff that you could see, you need to take care of or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? But the behind the walls, and that's where I say that even though there are pipes behind the walls that you cannot see, we love to give tips on our Facebook, and we do have a YouTube channel site also where
Okay.
we do give tips. And when I go to networking meetings, one of the things I always like to do are give homeowner seasonal tips that are out there.
There's 3 types of water.
So that's where I say that if you just do some checking on your home, like in
Right.
the winter, we talk about what to do to keep your pipes from freezing or disconnecting the hose, because those pipes behind the wall can have some tips to do to keep them from freezing.
Right.
The ice damming, we tell them to go out, how to look, get rid of the snow here, and it keeps ice damming from happening. So we do like to give tips to help homeowners prevent things.
Ice damming. Is
Yes,
that when
sir.
the water collects and then freezes?
Yes, like when
Ah.
we had the snow and then warm, cold,
Right.
and it melts and then it refreezes and then it gets
Yeah.
trapped and it refreezes and then it melts again right at the gutter
Mm-hmm.
and where if you have an awning, not an awning, but if over easement onto
Yeah.
like your porch of your house, and then it gets caught there. And that's something we posted on our Facebook page with a lovely diagram helping people understand what that is. And they just need to get a shovel or a rake. They actually sell ice shovels for your roof, but you don't have to have one of those.
Right.
And just get rid of that snow so that it won't freeze and melt and freeze, and then that causes the leak to come into the house right at
Gotcha.
the roof line. Yeah, so we'd love to give tips so that homeowners can protect things from happening, as I mentioned, but not everything can be.
Okay. Now, what are those 3 types of water, since we're on the subject? Because I'm going to give that news that we talked about.
Yes, sir. Real quick overview. The 3 types of water mostly come from just how long it has sat.
Okay.
Not always. Sewer, if your sump pump, if your sewer line backs up in your home, that would be your category 3 worst case scenario
Yeah.
because it's got bio in it and
Yep.
everything. Stage 1 water is something that was coming from the kitchen area type of thing, just your drinking water, say your dishwasher or your refrigerator. We had one of those. This is why I say not everything can be avoided. If you have water into your refrigerator, as most of us do, sometimes those water lines just break.
Right.
So you got clean water. That's your stage 1.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have 2 in the middle, and that would be just dirtier water, so washing machine water or you things like that. That's a gray.
Right.
It's literally a little gray. Stage 2, and then your worst stage 3. But if it sits, unfortunately, we have customers who have gone on vacation somewhere.
Yeah.
And they come home, didn't know that the
Yeah.
basement flooded. The longer it sits, it will be categorized as different state categories of water.
Yeah, I once had to. Well, we did a community project for a Vietnam era veteran. He'd lost his legs, and he was in a really old house, and there had been stagnant pools of water in his basement, and I think his toilet was to the point where the because of water that had collected in his bathroom, the seal around his toilet, it started to deteriorate from underneath the floor. So you could be in his basement and see that the potential for the toilet to fall through.
Correct.
And all that was because of water.
Yes, the damage.
Yeah, the damage.
People don't know it. Water has a mind of its own, and it goes anywhere it wants. It's
Right.
really hard to trap, and it can spread because of that. And yes, the longer it sits, the more damage it does. It gets increased category. Yeah, it's a mess.
The time is 8:16. Good morning to our friend Norma Peterson. Hello, Norma Peterson. Hello. How are you? How are you? Now as we mentioned, we have a live. Hello, all of you great people at home. Thank you for watching this awesome show and interview with Tracy Hodges of Restoration 1 Fox Valley. Monica, can you take me to a commercial, please? I have some news. We got good news to talk about today, besides Restoration 1 Fox Valley. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the city of Aurora won the best water in Illinois contest. How about that? That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. We have the best water. Yeah. And I have to say, if you guys have not seen the picture of our mayor and the city council, Patty Smith, I've never seen anybody so happy with bottles of water. I mean, they're toasting it like it's champagne. Look at those. Those are real smiles, too. They're loving it. This water's so good, I didn't even drink my bottled water at home. I turned on the tap and took a sip, and it was quite refreshing. So for the sixth time, Aurora earned first place in the annual contest, where water was judged on taste, odor, and color. The last win was in 2009. Aurora won this title at the annual WaterCon contest in Springfield, with the final competition between Aurora, Rockford, Park Forest, and Champaign County. Aurora now advances to the national water competition held in San Antonio, Texas in June. Wow. Competitions for water.
Yes.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. The state championship award was presented to Mayor Richard Irvin, who in turn gave MPV awards to the Water Production Division staff before leading a celebratory toast. Ladies and gentlemen, don't sell yourself short. Let me tell you, you can get an award if you got good water. I actually like that. That's awesome stuff. Now, also, for those of you interested to know, there's a bill that's been passed increasing access to affordable insulin across Illinois. House Bill 1466 creates a pathway for Illinoisans to access an emergency 30-day supply of insulin and caps insulin co-payments at $35 a month. Absolutely wonderful. The legislation aims to make insulin more affordable and accessible. HB 1466 tackles insulin affordability in two ways. First, it creates an urgent need program that allows people with diabetes to access an emergency 30-day supply of insulin at a minimal cost of $35 from their local pharmacy. That program ensures that people with diabetes have access to life-saving and sustaining medication regardless of their insurance status. It also prevents the need for insulin rationing and other high-risk cost-cutting measures, and this is presented by, the bill also caps copay at $35 a month. The $35 copay cap will apply to all Illinoisans who purchase health plans on the state-regulated exchange, roughly 20% of insured people in the state. This was passed and presented by Rep. Will Guzzardi. Shouts out. Okay, the time is 8:19 a.m. Hopefully you are learning about restoration and water damage and all these good things. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see here. Mary Novoa, good morning. John Schomer, hello to you. And Miss Mendoza, are you registered with the board up list with the city of Aurora? Interesting. Oh, I think that's a comment for other friends. And credit to Mayor Wisner who made that a priority. Water. Thank you guys. Okay. Now, we talked about the cities that you serve. Are the services you offer residential, commercial, or a combination of the two? I think you mentioned
I did.
combination.
Yes, a
Okay.
combination of two. Sometimes I talk too much and take away some of your questions. Yes, a combination.
Okay.
So residential and commercial, businesses, city municipalities,
Okay.
apartment complexes. I mean, the whole
Everything.
Yeah, really.
I
don't know.
would think that would kind of be a no-brainer because I mean, who knows when disaster is going to strike, right?
Right.
And it could strike anywhere. But are residential properties more prone
Yes.
to damage because of
I say yes and no.
the amount of units, perhaps, or
Right,
spaces?
Right. Dare I say that to some degree, whenever you have your commercial type, they have facility managers in there.
Right.
And to some degree, they have a little education and they can take care of some of the smaller things themselves.
Right.
You know, when we do commercial, it is at a larger scale, larger level. Now, not all commercials have maintenance that can take care of it, but there's a little bit of that. But just as you mentioned, just the sheer number of homes, apartment complexes, the ratio, you
Right.
know, is greater for the people living in them, and just more activity 24/7, you
Right.
know, that type of stuff.
Safety
So,
increases though too. The safety would be more pertinent with your large scale apartment complexes and things like that.
Right.
More people, more heads, more things like that. But have you ever gone to places or showed up for a job and seen perhaps code violations in the building that perhaps caused the reason that you're there? Like, have you ever gone to a site and been like, oh, well, we're here because there's no smoke detector and that's why the fire broke out?
to some degree,
Okay.
yes. The fires that we have attended have only been residential
Okay.
at this point, which is good. But back to the water, sometimes it is just not customer, but client caused a little bit again sometimes. And so sometimes you're there because they put things down the toilet that shouldn't have been there or something. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, yeah, but there are sometimes code lapses that cause things. Absolutely.
Okay. What's the worst job that you've seen, or the worst job case?
I'm trying to think what would classify as worst.
Worst, right? Yeah. What does worst mean in this
Right,
context? Yeah.
right. Well, home fires, I think, are the most devastating, or
Right.
can be, just because families are displaced from
Okay.
that, or can be,
Right.
you know, even if it's a huge kitchen fire, they usually do need to be rehomed for a while until that, and
Right.
that takes a longer process because you have a lot more people involved. You have the fire department involved. You have the insurance that needs to come in and do a different, more thorough type of investigation. And so there's lots of things that keep the homeowner out of their home or getting their home back to normal. So I guess I would say that the fire is the most devastating and invasive to the homeowner.
Okay.
Most unique. Most unique would be, I kind of mentioned the raccoon, but I do have to say, and we have done some hoarder homes. That's
Okay.
why I say, you bring it to us, and if we can't take care of it, then we will find out who does. But the most interesting, I give nicknames to the homes, partly because I don't know all the, the customers' names.
I
but
get it.
I give nicknames.
Yeah,
so
Blue
we've got,
House. Yeah.
Well, we've got the raccoon house.
Yeah.
We've got this house. We've got the hoarder house. The bat house.
The Bat House.
So the bat house would have to be the most current, interesting one. I have to be careful what I say here because there's idioms that they're great teachers. And
The word of the day
teachers.
is idioms.
The word of the day is idiom.
Idioms.
Okay.
I like that.
So we are in the process of doing a home that we call the bat house because here's lots of learning. Bats got into the home. Yes, the way the raccoons do. But homes built before 1970
Right.
do not have insulation between the outer and inner walls.
Right.
These bats got in and built and stayed between the walls.
Wow.
And the bat dung
Guano.
Has an effect in the brain if you breathe it.
Oh, wow.
Hence the idiom that crazy.
Right.
I bleep myself, so you don't have to bleep me.
We don't even have that button yet.
I may have been the first reason you needed one, but I beeped
Bing.
myself.
Yeah.
So the idiom.
Okay.
A lot of idioms come from the origin was literal back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, but they've evolved over time, and to some degree, this bat crazy idiom is real.
Right.
And it does cause people to go crazy
Right.
if they breathe in from the fumes of their home. So these bats were in the walls. Bats cannot be removed by an ordinance of protection, not endangered, but
Right.
they're protected
Right.
until they leave in March to go mate. And then, so this poor lady has been removed from her home, not removed, but she was displaced from her home since November, October, something like that, because she can't stay in her home.
Right.
And then we had to wait until the bats left on their own. And then you board up where they go in, and then you can go in, remove the dung, treat it, and everything else. So
Wow.
Yeah. It's a mess in more ways than one. So
Imagine being a bat. You could live anywhere for free. And you got to get out the house. Like, you know what? I like Stonebridge. We're gonna nest in the walls right here, and the homeowner has to leave. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew they were protected.
Correct.
I knew that they were protected and had
Yeah.
some types of protections, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she, of course, is more country environment where
Right. I was thinking, is that going on in Aurora?
city. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Got bats on the east side. I've seen bats on the east side, though. I have seen bats on the
Oh,
east
they're
side.
out there, yes, but because she's in a more rural setting,
Yeah.
they were more evasive in her home. And
That's pretty cool. I like bats.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
the time
definitely.
is 8:27 a.m. Monica, would you be so kind? Would you take us to a commercial? Give us a little bit of news, and then bring us right back, please.
I will, but I'm gonna have to be closer to the mic because I forgot to plug in my.
Ah, that's all right. See, we got a studio. We can just move around now.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. Here are your local headlines: real news, real people, real stories. 100% Aurora. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our content. There you can also watch all of our interviews and receive notifications when we go live. The in-house coffee program is a new feature of Java Plus, a month of unlimited coffee for $8.95 while in the coffee shop. Ask staff for more details the next time you're in Java Plus, which is located at 1677 Montgomery Road in Aurora. Get ready for the community market. This will be in partnership with the Aurora Pride Parade taking place June 12th. Do you sell unique items? Well, you can be a vendor. This is brought to us by Indivisible Aurora, and you can apply with the link that I'll be sharing in the chat. The Illinois Homeowner Assistance Fund program provides direct financial assistance to prevent mortgage delinquencies, defaults, displacements, and foreclosures for income-eligible homeowners experiencing pandemic-related hardships. Starting in April 2022, the state will begin accepting applications from homeowners for grants of up to $30,000 to eliminate or reduce past due mortgage and property tax payments. Find out if you're eligible for up to $30,000 in homeowners assistance by clicking on the link that I'll be sharing in our chat.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And also the softball classic is happening. You play softball?
Unfortunately, I do not.
No? The softball classic's happening Sunday, July 10th from noon to 8 p.m. at Perry Point Community Park in Oswego. We have those details for you. We've been sharing them for you guys all week. Shouts out to our friend Yolanda Dunn of It's Fit Time. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Monica. Now, let's move on. What are the licenses, certifications, and qualifications required for the work Restoration One does?
As I mentioned earlier, we do have certifications that owners need to go through, that your project manager or lead techs would need to do.
Okay.
Should I admit I don't remember the initials in the order? There are certifications. I don't, because I don't have mine right now.
Okay.
I don't, but there are. Currently, we send our crew to Indianapolis, Indiana, which is where one of the schools, if you will, is
Okay.
housed, and that is where they go through that standard book that I mentioned
Right.
and beyond,
The book.
hands-on work, the book for the industry. So yes, to move up, if you will, I don't know if you want to call it that or not, but to be the lead tech project manager and owner, you do need to take all of the certification classes.
Okay.
And then periodically take like continuing education classes, so
Right.
to speak. Yes.
Okay.
But I also, as I mentioned, there's I guess what you could call just an entry level position that's helping load the truck, unload the truck, setting up the equipment, taking down the equipment, cleaning the equipment afterwards. That you do not have to have the certification.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, are you is Restoration One
Yes.
the are you assessing a site or after if you can't do the job, is that what condemns a property to be demolished then? Like, is that how it works? I'm a novice asking this question, so
Right.
I wonder, like, has the damage been so bad with fire, smoke, or otherwise that now this property needs to be demolished? We've called Restoration One.
Right.
They did what they could.
Right.
Now we demolish. Like, how does that happen, or is that even a?
That is nothing that we would have
Okay.
involved with that. Dare I say, that's more structural inspection type
Right.
of thing. No, that's not anything
Okay.
that we have a take in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if a place is demolished or going to be demolished, there is nothing that you could have done anyway for
Correct.
that. Okay.
Too far, yes. That's kind of where, like I mentioned, your firemen or insurance come in for a fire, and that they're kind of, you know what I mean, for
Right.
fire type of thing. So, because some homes are beyond when there's a fire,
Yeah.
so we don't have anything to do with that. We totally mitigate situations.
What did you like most about being a teacher?
What did I like most about being a teacher? One of the things that I went into teaching for, that I strove to do, was try to instill good, independent learning habits and skills so that you could, the independence of it.
Okay.
To let them, and the other part of it was the creativity. I loved creating lesson plans that allowed for children to be creative. I'm
Okay.
old school, if you will,
Okay.
and even in the days as like I said, 20 years, saw a lot that happened. Not as long as
Right.
some. I know some wonderful teachers are 27, 30, 34. I saw a lot of changes. We know technology changes quickly,
Right.
and therefore I saw technology taking over,
Sure,
unfortunately,
yeah.
into the classrooms. And man, I fought that tooth and nail, and I had quarterly projects. So again, old school, doing projects. 4-H, I grew up in 4-H with my rural background, which was all about projects. Yes, growing things, yes, animals, but we also had projects that you could do.
Right.
And and I know that that's one of the best ways that children stimulate and learn, and all the hands-on. And so anytime I could incorporate creativity, whether just anything creative, whether it was speech or acting or the projects with the clay and the glitter and the everything. I guess if I could talk real quick about one of my favorite projects that came on the last 3 years of teaching, was during Black History Month.
Okay.
And it took about the month, and my goals were always up here for the third graders.
As they should be, right?
Oh man, they were, because I also taught fourth and fifth,
Okay.
and you knew what those teachers wanted, but that's also just who I am.
Sure.
And so I would have them up there, and so these children, oh my gosh, it was just the best project. So we did the Black History, and it was called a Live Wax Museum.
Okay.
And they chose whomever they wanted
Okay.
to write about, and it was all facets of it. So they wrote their research paper, So there's multifacets there. They then dressed on the day of the Wax Museum, and I invited any of the grades that wanted to come. So they dressed up. Oh my gosh, the pictures! I just want to cry at some of the pictures. Some of these kids dressed up, and they were like the mini characters. It was awesome. I'm sorry, you were.
It's all good. We need more teachers who care about the students. That's all good. We appreciate you very much. We appreciate your work as a teacher. This is an education-friendly show, and all the work that you and all of our other friends do is important. You know, we're all parents in this room, so we appreciate it.
It was just one of the best projects ever. They loved it.
Good.
They loved it.
I myself. So you spoke about the with social, or not social media, but technology.
Yes.
And I believe that creativity should be strengthened. If it's going to be, it should be strengthened by technology, not replaced.
Absolutely.
And so I
because you can create on.
Exactly.
You can.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I was going to get there until I broke down.
No, it's all good. I mean, they give you the pen and you can draw on the
yes.
tablets now, but
Yes.
that is not.
Oh, paper pens.
Exactly. Exactly.
I know there's tactile, and I'm a tactile learner, but I will read a book
Right.
over an iPad. Again, the old school part, but there's just
Yeah.
here at the smell of the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Kindle.
Yes.
Once upon a time, I got it from the ex. I sold it like a month later.
Yeah.
I need the book. Right. You know, I need the book to read. But there was a question there. I apologize, but how has being a teacher prepared you, or how does it help you in your role as business development with Restoration One?
You're asking great questions, and they're just.
I planned for these all night. That's how I do. Like, you know what? It's Tuesday. Let me get ready for Thursday.
Great questions. And that's because, as I reflect, yes, this is a new career path for me.
Sure.
But I have reflected on several things I did that led up to teaching that have even helped with that. The teaching has. I'm like, wow, that is how you've helped prepare me for this role now. So just one of the things I think of is I've had to, this is different,
Sure.
but speak in front of people,
Okay.
present things. We actually do give presentations. We have presented to a group of realtors,
Okay.
and we have presentations to present to insurance agents to help educate them in how we can work better together, or things you didn't know to help your client. So,
Right.
so presenting, because presenting to adults is different than presenting to kids, but just that presentation part of it, by nature, but teaching helps you become very structured, very organized, and that has helped spill over just in kind of the behind the scenes work that I do
Right.
to try to be a very good business development for the company. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that have helped, but I guess the biggest thing is just presenting, putting together things to present, because that's what teachers do.
Right. So you're still doing lesson plans.
I am. You know, that's funny that you say that, because it's out there. Yeah. And just research.
Right.
You know, you have to research to prepare better plans, because yes, they give the manuals, but you want to embellish and pull and know more, and just doing the research. And I constantly am asking questions of my husband or the project manager. I learn on the job, just like a teacher learns on the job, and take those, you know, so
Right.
Yeah.
What's your husband's name?
Mark
Mark.
Sandstrom. Yes.
Mark, are you in the chat? You better be in the chat, right? Mark, where you at?
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
Exactly.
No, rains keep coming,
Yeah.
and so he's the.
Cindy Morales, good morning. Thank you very much. Curtis and Monica, have a fantastic day, Aurora. Thank you very much, Cindy. Jennifer Ryan Mason, hello to you. You're a perfect palate vending at the Aurora Pride. Good morning. Jen Ingram and Leo Zarko, good morning. So let me see now. Here's it, because I'll share a little story with you too. And I want to make sure I got it now, because my life is kind of taking a full circle now. This is interesting. So let's say there's a fire. Insurance claims adjuster. They do the assessing.
In all situations, if you have, I was going
All situations,
to say
yeah.
that earlier and
Yep.
forgot. So
All
yes,
situations.
any of these, yes.
And then depending on that, that's where restoration services could be utilized. Is that the chain of events? Is that how it flows?
Fire, yes.
Okay.
Not water.
Aha. Okay.
Glad you, another great question to
Gotcha.
differentiate. When there is a water situation, we do not have to wait, and they don't want us to wait, or
Sure.
should not want
Right.
us to wait for the adjuster to come in. Because as I had mentioned earlier, water is evasive, it goes wherever it wants.
That's right.
It also gets to different categories, which is more costly
Of course.
if it stays. So if you're waiting in today's world, an adjuster can take a day or two,
Right.
depending on situations. You do not want that. So we have the allowance. It's just, you got water, we come in and start mitigating, and then the adjuster comes in behind us. Fire is different, as I did mention, and you caught that, you're a good listener, and they go in and they assess things before we come in, because we can't touch, because as I mentioned, I think they're trying to determine what caused the fire.
Right.
So we cannot go in and touch anything. The adjuster goes in with other firemen and things like that and try to figure out the cause of the fire. So we go in behind. So it depends on what it is.
When I was like a freshman in high school, I had to do some community service, and I had to do it with a insurance claims adjuster.
Oh,
He worked for
wow.
MetLife.
Okay.
It was an experience.
Okay,
It
I
was
bet.
he had a stroke, so the left side of his body didn't work,
Right.
and he couldn't lift it. He was it was would be determined as overweight now,
Yes.
and he had this enormous camera. It was like this. This was
Yep,
a while
old
ago.
school,
It was a
right?
huge camera,
Yes.
and my job was to take pictures
Okay.
for this insurance claims adjuster. It was amazing, dangerous, but we were in he had me doing all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
He was like, "This looks like an explosion. Crawl in there." I was like,
Okay.
For real?
Yeah. I don't have the insurance coverage for that.
but it was really cool. He taught me a lot. He was like, "Take a picture of that. Make sure you get everything." He was like, "We need to see." I'm just thinking now about all the stuff he was telling me to do, and learning about his job. And now here I am talking to you about fire.
Again, you get
Life's crazy.
right.
It's like lesson plans. We're still doing them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, next question. Well, we talked about what they need to understand. We talked about greatest hits. We talked about memorial jobs and sites. We talked about fire and water damage. You mentioned 3 types of water. There's not 3 types of categories of fire or smoke, because I perused on the website, and
Thank you.
oh yeah, definitely.
You're a good student doing your research.
Oh yeah. One of the things that I gathered from what I read was that you guys, Restoration 1, there's almost nothing that you can't solve. There's almost no problem, according to the website
right.
and what you meant.
Yes.
There's almost nothing that you guys can't solve. So in this COVID era, has there been, the cases are going down, things like that, according to what we're reading and everything.
Yeah.
Are you guys moving away effectively from COVID-related cleanups and now just dealing with our traditional 3: water, fire, mold? Or
smoke.
Smoke, excuse me.
That's okay.
Does the COVID problem still persist, or what do you think? No.
No.
Okay.
Couple reasons why. You didn't ask, but a couple reasons why. First of all, in the beginning, the public didn't know. We didn't have the information.
Sure.
Right. And so, as an industry who's on top of it and connected with everything, then we jumped on being
Right.
able, and we had some of the, I don't want to say chemicals, because one of the things that term is used loosely, because we use safe non-harsh chemicals, natural peroxide. There's things
Right.
that it's not. Okay. So when we come in and do our cleaning, so we as a company in Restoration One, we got on it as soon as we could. We learned what to do and everything. And so we went in and we got called for COVID cleanings, both residential and commercial. We did COVID cleanings. Don't want to mention the company's names at all, but we did COVID
Sure.
cleanings. So as time went on, what happened was other companies learned what to do, and they made more business for themselves by supplying to smaller companies ways to do it themselves. And then education came out where companies and churches and anything that was allowed to open up afterwards could do themselves.
Gotcha.
Restaurants. So
Okay.
they learned, and in fact, my husband offered to many, and one of the restaurants took him up on it, and he said, you know what, he said, after time went on, and he said, man, come on in. I will show you. I will teach you. You can do this, because he was a smaller restaurant.
Right.
And he's like, I can't afford for you guys to come in and do that. And Mark said, come on in. I'll
Right.
show you what we do. Here's what you do. You do it this time and this time. And so he coached him on how to do it himself. And so there was a little bit of that. And then just the industry, as I already mentioned, started educating businesses, and then they were able to buy smaller quantities, if you will, than the industrial stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they could do it themselves. And then just with the numbers in general passing and everyone relaxing. So yes, there's pretty much zero.
Okay.
COVID.
Good. And we're at the point now where we're also getting we're always safely minded.
Yes.
But it does seem like the optimism of the country, and by extension the city,
Right.
is that things are definitely looking up and looking a lot more positive.
Definitely.
What's your opinion? How do you feel about the future months and everything going forward?
I agree with what you said, both because that's the signs we're getting, but it's also the hopefulness of it that
Sure.
I want to have. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
There is a piece of me every once in a while that when you hear whispers of, you're like, no,
Right.
it's not. It's just not. Hopefully we've learned, and it we'll never get to that degree that it was before.
Yeah.
I looked at things maybe with it a little more, I tried to be educated when things started coming out. I tried not to be fearful of it, tried to be smart about things, so I'm very glad that things are returning to normal, and my wish is for anyone out there that is still, that they just do what they need to do to make themselves feel safe and comfortable, and we can just go about life normally and just let people,
Let it be.
Yeah,
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
Look at you.
If you know that song,
I
put
do.
that song in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good song.
Yes.
Yep, that is
Yes.
that's a jam. Okay, Alejandra Mascote, good morning to you, you dear friend of our show. Alejandra works for DNA Healthcare.
Ah, nice.
So
Wonderful.
in regards to health, we're happy to have her as well.
Yes.
She's been on the front lines. Ben Geller is here. Hi, Ben. Peruse. The word of the day is idioms. Ben, we have a word of the day, but thank you. That's a part 2. And Karina Suarez Darden will call Jen Ingram after the show. Make sure you guys do that. Leo Zarco, glad for all the wonderful teachers. We are too, as well. The time is, what's the time? 8:48 a.m. Okay, Monica, take me to a commercial, please. I got to deliver this news real quick because people will be mad at me if I don't tell them about the city council set to approve a bigger cybersecurity contract. You know who I really like? I really like Alderman Ed Bugg. I watched this city council meeting, and he was persistent in his desire to figure, okay, cybersecurity. Let's, he was like Columbo up there. Remember Columbo?
Oh,
that was
showing
my
my
show.
age, but
man. My grandmother used to.
Oh, I was going to say, how do you know about it?
My grandmother used to. Gosh, she
Yeah.
loved Columbo.
Absolutely.
Columbo was the only time I had to shut up. She was like, "Could you be quiet? Columbo about to solve the case." But here's the story, ladies and gentlemen. Read a little bit of this. So when it comes to cybersecurity, Leela Karumi knows where the biggest problem is, and its people are the weakest link here. She is the cyber and technology director. That's why city officials are looking to increase training, and get an additional antivirus module as part of an additional $336,697 added to the $3.2 million contract the city has with the Chicago-based Data Defenders LLC, a computer security firm. The additional money would expand the scope of managed security services beyond the original contract. Now, the expanded security is in part to a response of a phishing attempt in the city's email system last November. At the time of the phishing attack, technical controls were implemented to end any access by the attacker. The City Council Finance Committee recommended the additional money for the Data Defenders contract. And this week, Tuesday, Alderman meeting as the committee of the whole wanted to make sure the additional money would get the job done. Now, here is the quote of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Quote, "I understand you cannot cover everything because technology moves too fast. But is a general phishing attack going forward going to be covered?" That's from Alderman Ed Bugg of the 9th Ward. That is he was concerned the next attack would mean even more money for the city. And according to Mayor Irvin, that is a reasonable question. We're already paying $3.2 million. What do we get for that? Close quote. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we encourage people on this show, tune into this.
Yes.
It's live.
Informative.
Exactly.
Yes.
Instead of, what's the city doing about cybersecurity? Well,
Yeah.
they're grilling, they're putting the steak on the grill. The original contract with Data Defenders was $1.6 million, but the city doubled that to $3.2 million about a year ago. That allowed the city to have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week set of eyes on all the city's six. We have a thing on the show. If we mess up, we all got to take a sip. Everybody, look at this. Yes.
Put up a cup. And we're doing so good.
Right? We were doing good. I was reading things with alacrity, but not anymore. Okay. What I meant to say was that allowed the city to have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week set of eyes on all the city's technology systems. The city was responding to a situation in Florida where a hacker broke into a system for a county-wide water facility and changed the mix of hydrochloride in the water. An operator noticed the change before it went online, or it could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the absolute least. Yikes, the time is 8:53. Okay, we talked about smoke, fire, water, mold, the 3 types of water. We talked about teaching. We talked about lesson plans. We talked about, you guys started in COVID. We did too. Let's talk about puppies and pancakes, though. I mean, what's that about? What's that about?
Thank you. So I am a member of the Oswego Rotary.
Shout out to the Rotary.
Yes, hey! We have not been able, service clubs and nonprofit organization clubs have not been able to do things.
Right.
We can't help some inventive ways, yes, but the point is fundraising. We
Sure.
have not been able to do fundraising because things aren't open. Okay. So the club is getting back up and running, and we are doing a fundraiser.
Okay.
So the fundraiser is called Puppies and Pancakes. So it's May 14th
Okay.
from 8 in the morning till 11. The reason I wanted to tag it Puppies and Pancakes because, again, figurative language, it's an alliteration, and I love anything figurative, so it's an alliteration. And we are hosting it at our job site, the Restoration 1 job site, that day, May 14th, 8 to 11. We are fundraising via the pancake breakfast.
Okay.
So that's the pancake part for Rotary, in conjunction with the nonprofit organization that I chose to work with through the company is Anderson Humane, located in South Aurora, and they
Okay.
also have a North Aurora base and some others. So that's the puppies part, because
Okay.
it's an adoption day for them. They are bringing some puppies and dogs, and my goal is for all of them to be adopted, and they are going to be getting some money as well too from the Rotary, and we'll have 50-50 raffles. Some baskets of doggy goodies are going to be raffled. Yes.
There's a lot of stuff here. The top. Listen to this. If you think that's great, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Here's the toppings bar for the pancakes. I was looking at this the whole time. Sprinkles, whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and more. And more?
And more.
Damn, I'm going for the and
Again,
more. Y'all got strawberries yet?
You asked the teacher part in me that's coming out. This is how the teacher part helped, because I closed up every year with a Sunday bar,
Yeah.
and the kids all brought toppings, and I brought the ice cream, and I'm like, what kids don't like? So yes,
Right.
it's to pull in for fun for the kids, but I guarantee some adults are going to be putting on some of those sprinkles and whipped
Oh, of
creams
course.
too.
Oh, yeah. You know, they will be. Great stuff. And event sponsors include Meyer, my sister's little donut shop, Big Life Community Church, and Russell's Tent and Party Rentals LLC. I was a member of the Aurora Veterans Advisory Club. I've seen Russell's. They have a wide reach of,
Okay.
of establishments that they work with, or places that they
have gone,
have gone to.
supplied, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Russell's. I think I actually have one of their cards. I was once
Okay.
upon a time in where was I? Elk Grove Village
Wow.
or something. Yeah,
Okay.
they've been
Very good.
out there.
Yeah, good friends.
All right. Yeah, and here is the flyer. Adults are $7. Veterans and kids under 12, $5. Awesome, and a QR code as well.
To buy tickets. Yeah.
Veterans and kids under 12. Veterans under 12. 12-year-old veterans. Like, I was in the Battle of Elementary School.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, see, there's those commas and period placement things. That if
See?
you did, yeah, it's veterans, and then children under 12. So
See?
I know commas can change the whole structure of a sentence. Okay, we digress. I digress. Anyway.
This is the problem with interviewing teachers.
I know,
See,
right?
but no, I'm like that. I listen. I need the information. If it has grammar, it has to be right, because you're reading it and it's just run-on sentence after run-on sentence.
And if you don't stop at that period, or if you put it
Right.
changes that whole understanding
Yeah.
of. Thought of it just yesterday when I was reading, and I'm like, I paused there, and that meant that, but you could be. Yeah. No. Anyway.
There's a great book out there called The Punctuation Handbook for the Damned. I bought it for like $2 at a book sale once upon a time. It's great. It explains
okay.
commas, apostrophes, and
Right.
everything.
Oh,
really helpful.
cool.
The time is 8:57 a.m. Yikes! Time just flies.
Yes.
Cheryl Brownell. Ed Bug is a really good guy. He's so smart and speaks with the voice of wisdom. He does. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Is there anything we forgot?
You're awesome. No, you have covered everything, and thank you for letting me mention the puppies and pancakes.
Absolutely.
And I don't think just talk with your insurance agent would be my only tip if you wanted to wrap up on that, because unfortunately,
Yeah, that's our positive note.
yeah,
our positive
check
note
with
for
your
the day.
insurance company, because things inside your home are covered for the water damage. If it goes to mold, it is not because it shows negligence that you didn't take care of the water properly.
Oh, that's a tip. What? Stay woke. Oh.
Yes, and if you have
Who got tips like this?
And if you have
Nobody.
a finished basement, please adhere to your insurance agent's suggestion to get the sump pump failure coverage, because once again, if your sump pump fails and you have a finished basement and you do not have that rider that is maybe $200 to $275 for the year, if you do not have that sump pump coverage, your basement will not be covered either.
Damn.
So your insurance company is not just there to...
Joe Jackson, you heard that?
So go check with your insurance. Update. If you have a finished basement and not talked about your insurance with your... Please let them know, because it's not just an upsell to you will pay thousands of dollars to get your basement put back together.
Y'all better go downstairs, look at that basement. You better do that. Well, this was a fantastic episode. I appreciate you very much coming on the show. Appreciate you.
You're awesome. And
I like that better than a button. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have a blessed, positive, fantastic, and wonderful day. Please take a look at your home. Get updated about what Restoration 1 of Fox Valley does. We'll put the link to their business in the post afterwards. Take care of yourself and each other.